She's a tree hugger.
For this week, I have really been pushing through with my artwork and trying to progress my painting, working my way through the blocks and challenges that I was talking about last week, and really trying to improve my art. So this week I've done quite a lot of painting and also talking to you about my process in this video. I've been trying out some early starts to help improve my creative practice and routines, and also help my anxiety because I've been having sleepless nights. I think it's mostly due to life being so weird at the moment, and also my ongoing quest to find a work-life balance. Part of my self-care this week has been learning to say no and acknowledging the difficulty of that and the guilt that that sometimes brings up. I've had a couple of things that I've needed to say no to, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on.
Hello.
Hello.
I nipped to the shops.
Oh, I was going to say I didn't see you there.
Bananas and some grapes, some almonds, and some hand tissues. Do you need any tissues in the room here?
I have plenty.
Yes.
There somewhere.
Very good. I'll leave you to it. Good luck. Nice light in the morning, brother.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
You got a second coffee at some point?
Not too strong, though.
Yeah.
So I've just finished this little peony. If it looks like a peony, it still looks a bit like a rose to me, but I'm liking this one a little bit better. And I've switched to watercolours so that I wasn't just, trying to flog a dead horse, if you like, with the old canvas squares. And I just kind of ignored those and decided to change medium. And I think that's helped a little bit. Trying to find a balance really with observing, so getting an accurate observational study, but without getting too tight. And it's definitely where the bigger brushes come in for me. And watercolour is such a beautiful medium to play with because you get unexpected abstract effects as well. It's always the best bit, isn't it? Getting the tape off. I'm not sure this tape actually was going to work because it's really old washi tape, but it looks like it's done quite a good job. There we go. So yes, that's part of this week's Patreon video anyway. And I might change the background a bit, I'm not sure, I might lighten it or darken it. And then whether I come back to these, I don't think I'm going to paint these today. I've been sat doing this for a good few hours now, so I think I need a good old brain break. I might just turn the camera around, have a little chat. Hang on a sec. So, yes, I'm pushing onwards with the Flower Power project. And switched to watercolours this morning. So just to give myself a break from the acrylics, I think maybe I'm struggling a bit with the subtleness of the flowers, of the petals, with the acrylics. So I'm kind of liking that one that I've just done. Although I'm not 100% there yet, for sure. I'm not 100% happy. But I've really enjoyed doing that one. And then obviously reviewing the other squares as well, and do the little one that I half wiped off as well. And I did leave some of it behind just to add to whatever goes on top, and I think that some of that will come through, so it might actually add that extra interest. You never know. Anyway, that's where I'm at in the studio today, and I think now it's about 2 o'clock. And I really impressed myself this morning because, sorry, my chair's squeaking a bit. Yes, I really impressed myself this morning because I got in before 9 o'clock, which is a first for ages. Normally, I sit with James and we have a leisurely coffee, and maybe I sit too long. I thought this morning, well, it was about 4 o'clock this morning, although I did get back to sleep, so it wasn't too bad. I was pondering on why I have those days where I just don't feel like I can leave the house, and I have this anxiety and almost a soft panic attack, if you like, about leaving the house. And the later that gets, the more powerful that becomes. And as we all know, this is my happy place. And so I know I'm absolutely fine once I'm in. It's just that part of the day where I am in between house and being in the studio. So I thought this morning I would do the strategy I tend to do to make myself do yoga every day, which is get up, wash my face, make my bed, do yoga. I don't even think about it. And then by the time I've done the yoga, I'm just about waking up properly, if that makes sense. So it's done. So I thought rather than think about it and have a leisurely morning, I would push myself a little bit to get out the house a bit earlier. So I still did my yoga, but I didn't sit and have coffee. I kind of got ready while I had coffee, if you like. And then I left the house at 8:15, which is absolutely amazing. And by the time I got here, nobody was in. James had gone to the shop, so he wasn't here yet. And it was really quiet and cool. And I opened my windows to get all the air coming in. And it was just really, really peaceful. So I'm thinking that might be a helpful strategy for me to employ to help me get out the house. And the other thing I really like as well is working from home. So what I've been doing is a couple of days at least, sometimes 3, usually 2, where I work from home, often from the bed office, of course. But I really enjoy that, and that kind of balances me, if you like, with the getting enough rest.
So yes, I'm still a work in progress with me finding that elusive work-life balance thing. But yeah, I'm making little forward steps of progress in the right direction, I'm thinking. So I'm quite pleased with myself today. And then I didn't paint straight away. I didn't get on with my watercolour. I had a little percolation time with my paintings. And I also had another reference image that I found. And I tweaked that a little bit and printed it off. And what else did I do? I don't know. I just kind of gathered my thoughts before I started painting. And then, yeah, did that little study. So just put them all together so that I can see them all and maybe work on them simultaneously as I continue throughout the project. And then put them on my painting that's over there with the lady with the hand and the flower. Yeah, she's got 3 supposed to be peonies, but they look like hydrangeas at the moment. But I'm okay with that because I'm still learning and I'm still practicing. And I'm certainly not an expert at flowers. So what am I going to do next then? I think what I'm going to do now is tidy up a little bit in here because there's stuff everywhere. And maybe I'm going to do a little bit more to the painting. I might use some of my coloured pencils over the top just to, I don't know, change a few little elements of it. And then I think I'm going to go home and do some editing from the bed office. So I'll probably get home for about 3 or 4 o'clock is what I'm thinking. And yeah, maybe have a salt bath when I get home as well. Keep up that self-care to the max if I can.
We got a brand new day. Good love is on the way. And if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia. Have you ever been in love? Dove in from high above. And if the answer's no, well then I'd like to get to know you. And though I know these lights are blinding, I will guide us home. 'Cause I don't know what I've been told. The weather outside is not that cold. And if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
So I'm just having a little break from my tidying up really. I haven't really done a lot this morning. I think it's about 11 o'clock now. And because I came in so early, pats on the back, came in about 8:30, maybe a bit earlier. I think on the days that I work from home, I'm going to be more leisurely in the mornings because I don't really need to get ready and things like that. But on the days that I come in, I'm going to just push myself to, yeah, get on it and get out. And that's really helped me. And having the extra hour or 2 in the morning, it's meant that I can chill out more in the studio and really enjoy the space and settle in. And I think one of the things I've realised is I haven't quite settled in yet. So yeah, I kind of thought I had, but I'm realising I don't think I have. Anyway, that's just a little observation I've had this morning. And I've been drawing. I've redrawn something I didn't like because, yeah, it wasn't working for me. I don't know if you can see that very well. And my plan with this one is to maybe work on her. Hang on a sec. Is to maybe work on her a little bit like the Paul Bethon study that I did. And so obviously this is Paul Bethon, very famous Art Nouveau artist, and it was a lithograph, so I did a watercolour painting from it. And so yes, I'm thinking that I do this one in the same kind of way. I think I might use a bit more pencil crayon on this one than I did on that one, so yeah. Just having my juice, so have a little juice break with me. It's mainly water in there actually. And I just heard that James is coming in because he hasn't been in yet today because he was waiting at home for something to be delivered. So I was feeling a bit weird without him, and it's really, really strange. But yeah, I'm feeling really weird in the building when he's not here, even though I don't see him that much in the sense I do pop in. You know, we've both got work to do. So, but yeah, he's coming in, so that's really good. And I'm going to do some watercolour layers on here and film it for the Patreon, and I think that's going to be a project probably going up in 2 weeks, so I wanted to get a little head start on this one. I'm having a little anxiety check-in as well here, because I've noticed I woke up last night or this morning about 4 a.m. I don't know exactly what time it was. I think it was just before 4. And I didn't get back to sleep, which is not like me. Normally I wake up, but then I do get back to sleep after about an hour. And sometimes I read. And I started feeling really anxious. And also anxious about the fact I wasn't asleep, because I knew that I'd feel really weary today, which I do really. But I'm trying not to have extra coffee. I'm trying to drink water and green juice instead, because it's better for me. So I'm not sure what that's about. I guess it's probably to do with the situation in the world. Yeah, it's probably to do with that. So I'm sure I'm not the only one in that boat. So yeah, soft hugs if you're going through some anxiety issues as well. So I'm going to bury myself in my artwork. I've tidied up my space a little bit. Now, if I turn the camera around over there, the shop corner's pretty tidy. My table is a mess. The stuff under the table is a mess. My standing desk is not too bad, but this area was awful as well. So I'm thinking today, straighten up this area, which I have done, and then maybe tomorrow just do the table. And yeah, if I split it into smaller zones, I don't feel so overwhelmed, and then I tend to tidy up. But I've just cleaned up and kind of grouped things together, if you like, and put all my brushes together and all my inks together and all my paints together and that kind of thing. And also tidied a bit at this end because I just want a bit more space to create. And then I've put my drawing board on here today because I want a really flat surface to work on this one. And this surface isn't really smooth, so it's absolutely fine if I'm working on canvases and things like that. But yeah, it's not that smooth, so that's why I put the drawing board there. And I actually quite like it because it sticks out a little bit more, and it makes filming really easy, so that's really good. That's going to work really well. And normally I do my filming at the standing desk when I'm standing up, but in the afternoon I get really strong sunlight on, I'll show you, hang on. Yeah, so I get really strong sunlight and it sort of affects the filming a little bit, so from up there. So yeah, I try to film there in the mornings, and that seems to work best. And then over here, if I show you, I've tidied up the top of my art trolley, and just behind as well on the shelf. Kind of, it's not super tidy, but it's a lot tidier than it was, put it that way. And then over here, I've got my paints, my drawing board set up, and yeah, my comfy chair, my laptop as well, because I've been listening to some podcasts and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's my little that's been my little morning. And I've realised as well I've got some really nasty brushes, so I've been throwing out a few of my brushes as well. I've got all my tall ones over there, which I don't use as much, and some of those I bought for art class, but obviously I'm not having art class anymore, so I might maybe let those go to charity shop or something. They're not super quality anyway. I like to keep a few of my hog brushes though. And then my smaller brushes I've separated into types of brush. And I have got some more brushes that need sorting as well somewhere, but I haven't come across them yet, so yeah. So yes, I think what I'm going to do now is drink loads and loads of water, and like tons and tons of water. I've got a massive bottle of spring water and I just want to glug some down. I'm not hungry yet, so I'm going to wait to have something to eat, and I'm just going to carry on with my painting. Just do some watercolour layers to start with, I think, really soft, and see how she looks. There's always that moment before starting a new piece or something, a project, isn't there, where you're like a little bit hesitant. But I'm not really precious about the drawing because I didn't spend that long, you know, shading it in or anything like that. It's just a soft outline, and it's basically the same source material. It's the same source material as this painting. So I'm going to use that one as a little study as well. But I think I'm going to put magnolias in this one. Can't make my mind up which way to point the camera today. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do this one as a little study, working alongside that painting. Oh, I've got my new oil paints ready as well for working on it. I ordered the Winsor & Newton, just a small size. And what type are they? This is the Artist's Oil colour, and I think that's the best quality one that Winsor & Newton do. I wanted to try the Gambling range, but it's really quite expensive in the UK. So I've gone to the good old Winsor & Newton because I love their watercolours. Yeah, so I'm going to be trying, if I can get in them. Yeah, so I'm going to be trying these out in a week or two, once I've got this girl on the go. And then obviously at the same time as that, working on these canvas squares and seeing if I could actually resolve a few of them so that I'm at the point where I'm happy with them. Fingers crossed. I've got a few ideas from doing the one yesterday. So I think I might be able to rescue a few of them, so I'm a bit happier with them. So fingers crossed, eh? Also, to point out, I tried to draw this a few weeks ago in the Patreon, actually, in the video, and it just went really wrong. I couldn't work out what was wrong with her, but I didn't like the drawing. So I've abandoned that one for now and started afresh. And I've done her slightly smaller than I did her on the other drawing as well. So yeah, still got things going wrong art-wise, but that's still okay. It's absolutely fine. And I'm going to stop procrastinating now because I'm chatting to you and I'm procrastinating getting on with it.
Yeah.
It's called a nose.
Yeah, you've got smudge on it.
Nose.
Is the smudge there?
Right over.
Right, Bubba.
Kick you into action.
Cheers. Okay.
So I've been in about 2 hours, I think. I think it's about 10:30 now. Another early start, I know. I'm a little bit surprised at myself, but I'm really enjoying the early morning in the studio. Absolutely brilliant. James made me a sneaky little extra coffee this morning, so I haven't finished that yet. I'm just sipping it slowly because I quite like it when it goes cold. And also I've got my Lazy Woman's green juice. I'm actually thinking of buying a juicer and doing some proper celery, carrot, spinach, ginger, that kind of thing. Cucumber would be nice. Cucumber, ginger and celery juice. But for now I don't have a juicer, so this is why I've been doing the Lazy Man's. And I think I'm going to buy some wheatgrass powder as well to shake it up a bit. Sorry. So that I'm not having spirulina in it all the time. But yeah, got my juice. I might have some juice now actually. It's actually about that much fresh orange juice and the rest of it's spring water. So it's not really juice. And yeah, I've been feeling a bit weird this week with extra anxiety, and I'm not sure what that's about yet. I'm thinking it's just the situation in the world and a kind of reaction to the weirdness, I think that's what's going on. And it's definitely affecting my sleep again, because I've been waking up about 4 a.m. and then not getting back to sleep. So I did doze off this morning for a little while, but yeah, weird times. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. I know everybody's going through the same thing. So let's talk about something. Let's talk about when you say no to something. It might be to somebody or it might be to something. But let's just talk about that for a minute, because this week I had a couple of things where I had to say no to. And that was really good because it's good to practice saying your no out there. And it's also good to do the right thing for yourself. So I felt good about the fact I said no to the two things. But what I did notice was how weird I felt afterwards, in a sense of feeling really guilty about saying no to somebody. And both my situations were saying no to a person, not an event or a thing or something like that. So, really interesting. And there's the Buddhist way, isn't there, where you, if you can, instead of like being in the thick of your emotions, that you come out and you observe yourself feeling the feelings, if you like. So I did that. I became my own observer, if you like. And yeah, I was really taken aback by my reaction in a way. I mean, it wasn't a severe reaction or anything like that, but I did notice myself feeling guilty. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else out there has that thing. And I've never read, there's a book, isn't there, called The Art of Saying No. I've never read that, so maybe I should read that. And I'm also fully aware of the sentence that no is a full sentence. I think that's a really good one. But it's not often the way we like to say no, is it? Just no. We like to give a bit of an explanation or soften it up a little bit. Yeah, but it's interesting. And there are definitely different ways of saying no, aren't they? We all find our own way with that. The way I like to think about it is, if I'm saying yes to something, what am I saying no to? And is the thing I'm saying no to more important to me than the thing I'm saying yes to? Now that might sound a bit kind of gobbledygooky, I don't know whether you can kind of make sense of that, but that's how I make sense of saying no to people or things. It's not that I don't want to do things for people, and I do like to do things for people, but the importance of giving up your time for someone or something, there isn't anything more precious than our time and our loved ones. So whilst on one hand it's a really good thing and I felt really glad for rejecting the invitations and the offers, I also had that guilt thing, even at this age. I haven't mastered it yet. I wonder if I ever will. Anyway, I came out the other side, unscathed, and feeling really good about turning down the invitations for this week, the two things. But yeah, definitely noticed that guilt. Let me know in the comments the ways that you say no, and then we can all share ideas on it, because I think then it can help us in situations to find our own vocabulary and our own voice of truth. And we're also conditioned, aren't we, to put others first and put yourself last. because otherwise you're being selfish, and obviously that's just not the case at all. So it's all in our conditioning and upbringing, and yeah, that sense of selfishness if we say no to something or someone. So yeah, let me know if you also feel guilt during these times of saying no, and whether you find it hard as well, and what you say, what vocabulary and words you use, and how you phrase it and things like that. And then we can all read the comments and find our own little way of doing things. Let's make this a helpful little community on the in the land of YouTube. Because I know there's loads of negatives about social media, and you know, I turned off all my notifications and I don't go on social media. I talked about that last week. I do a little bit, and I do like watching a little bit of YouTube. I've been watching a gardening video this morning because I've got a leggy geranium. Talk about that in a minute if you like. But yeah, I try to not scroll, if you like. I do scroll a bit on Instagram, but not Facebook. So I'm having a really good day. I've been painting, so I've been working on this one. Don't know if you could see. And I've got a few more layers done on her today. And it was really nice this morning to come in to my kind of tidier space yeah, not have to wade my way through all the art mess, shall we say, before I can even start. And I'm feeling a big declutter coming on in the studio, because during lockdown, when I was in my other studio, I was going to give up my studio because I'd lost all my income and I just didn't see me being able to keep the studio on. But at the last minute, I changed my mind. But before that had happened, I'd kind of been mentally and physically been preparing to move out of the studio, and I knew it was full of stuff I didn't need and I didn't want and I wasn't using. So I went through pretty much every box and every bag that was in my studio at the time, and then sorted things out that were going to be going to the charity shop. But the charity shops were all closed, so I never got the chance to drop things off. So under this bench here behind me, there is a load of stuff that I don't need that's stashed away. And then a couple of weekends ago, I did a massive wardrobe declutter. Basically, James encouraged me to do some decluttering because we both wanted to get rid of some excess stuff. And he was like, where do you want to start with your decluttering? He was doing his tech stuff and all that kind of thing. And I said, my biggest problem area is clothing in my wardrobe. So I basically did a massive wardrobe declutter. And I've got a bag of stuff, I think I mentioned, that I might sell on Depop, but I haven't even photographed it yet. So whether I get round to that at all or just end up taking it to the charity shop, I don't know. But there's definitely two massive big black bags that are now in my car boot. James put them in the car boot this morning, and they are going to the charity shops because the charity shops are now open here. So yeah, amazing. So I think letting go of all that stuff is going to be very therapeutic as well. So yeah, practice my saying no and get rid of my stuff. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'll have a nice clear space mentally and physically. And yeah, I think that'll be really, really good for me and therapeutic. So the other thing I did yesterday was bravely, sounds stupid I know, but bravely went to the garden centre. So it sounds so stupid, I know, it's ridiculous. When I say it out loud, when I say it in my head, it doesn't sound so ridiculous. But when I say it out loud to you, it sounds completely bonkers, because this is how weird the world is right now. But anyway, so I'd been procrastinating going to this garden centre because I don't usually go there. It's not one of my familiar places during this whole lockdown. And we really have been in lockdown a long time. And I know I'm not the only place. I know a lot of you are still in lockdown because you mentioned that in the comments last week. I think Netherlands was still in lockdown, I'm not sure. And we haven't had curfews like France. So we've been lucky in a way, but we've been in a really long lockdown. So going to different places, different shops now feels really, really weird. So I called upon Wendy the warrior. She came out yesterday and she decided to help me get to the garden centre. So James took me as well and he came with me, and that was really nice. And I got myself some plant pots and some compost. And yeah, so I'm going to sort out the plant babies. And I brought in 3 poorly plants from home and I'm going to repot them today. And then I'm just going to do a few each day, I think, rather than doing the whole lot together. And then I've got this really leggy geranium that I need to prune. So I've been watching YouTube videos this morning about how to prune. So yeah, I need to tend to the plant babies. So I seem to have a few priorities going on at the moment, don't I, that have just come up naturally in life. So definitely the plant babies, definitely my painting, because I really want to improve my painting so that I can put a video up saying I like my art rather than I don't. Thanks for all the comments on that last week as well. It was really interesting to hear your comments on that. Anyway, the other thing I'm practicing is saying my no, practice that, and the decluttering thing. So yeah, it's all happening in the unexpected studio. So I'm going to end this video here and leave you in peace for now. I send loads and loads of love and big soft hugs. Try to keep your lights bright, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye.